Welcome back. We're talking about how to properly brand ourselves, which, according to branding consultant Ronald Earl Wilshire, will significantly increase our business. Today we're joined by Ronald Earl Wilshire, Chief Fun Officer of Wilshire Media. He's a dad, son, brother, and serial optimist, personal branding evangelist, social media enthusiast, global citizen, speaker, author, true believer, and hope dealer. Ronald, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rollis. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate having you, because we've had several conversations, and one of the things I wanted us to talk about today is, a lot of people focus on building the brand of their company first. And you kind of have a different spin on that. If you could just tell us about that.
Well, I've always been good at one thing, and that's being me. And it's always worked for me up to now. So I always look at it as, if I don't like you, I really don't care what your business is about. Brand you is much more powerful than brand company, because once I like you, I still may not buy your product or service. I'm one of 7 billion people. But if I like you, I'll probably do something that's even better than buy something from you. And what is that? I'll start talking to my friends about you and tell them how cool you are. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Now, what would you suggest a person to do to start to brand themselves? And they still want to kind of build their company up too, but what do you think they should do to maybe make a change to start branding themselves? What are the first things a business owner should do, you think?
Well, as we talked about, Rollis, when I first met you, I have a big thing. I always tell people, go and register their personal name as a .com. In my humble opinion, it's the most valuable piece of digital real estate you will ever own. Think about it. Anybody famous, what is their .com? So I say start with that. It's very inexpensive. You can do it with any registrar. Once you have that, now you automatically raise your expert status. There's many advantages to doing that, which I won't go into a long list here, but once you have your personal name as your .com, then you start deciding what do you want to your message to be. Me, I've always liked quotes. I've liked talking and engaging people, and this personal brand and social media just kind of came on me, and I started seeing the opportunity. So once you get your name registered, then you got to decide what you want to brand, what you're passionate about.
Now, do you think a business owner, let's say a business owner has a business where he doesn't really think that social media is really going to help him, what would you say to that person? Do you think social media is relevant to most business owners out there?
I think it's relevant. I don't think it's a panacea. I don't think if you set up a Facebook profile or a Twitter account that people are going to beat a path to your door. But what I've always told people is you must be seen to sell. And the bottom line is, I read a deal the other day about Facebook, how it's dwarfing all the other traffic online. They're all going to Facebook. So I think it's important to have a social media presence. I always tell people, make it easy for me to get a hold of you. Make it easy for me to know about what you're doing. If the easier it is, the better. If you make it difficult for me to try to do business with you, I'm going to go somewhere else, because I have to understand you're probably like me on information overload. And when we get on information overload, what do we do as humans? We shut down. So make it easy for me to do business with you. And social media is something that I think is very relevant if you know how to do it, if you know how to properly engage.
Okay. You said something earlier today I thought was kind of interesting about Twitter. How did the whole concept of Twitter come about? Where did it come from?
Well, Twitter, I was on it for 8 months before I figured out actually what it was. But the whole concept was, think about it, here's this guy that came up with this idea, let's start texting online. And most people are like, I'm sure told him he was crazy. But the power of Twitter is we communicate these days because of all the information coming at us from all different directions. We communicate in very short bursts. So Twitter came up with, the text was 160 characters. Well, they lowered it to 140 for your username, but then it became something that obviously took off, because why? We communicate in very short bursts. And I tell people, if you want to take stress out of your life, if you want to make more money, if you want to have more fun, simplify everything you do down to kindergarten clear. Make it very simple. Because think about it, Rollis, if somebody doesn't know something that you're doing, or they don't know what you're talking about, will they tell you generally? Generally they won't. They'll just walk away because they don't want you to know that they don't know. So the concept is Twitter is very simple. It's very easy to communicate. And I love it. I have a lot of fun with it.
Excellent. Okay. Now, one other thought I wanted to make sure that we covered. Whenever I wanted to call you an expert, a social media expert, you gave a response. And why did you give me that response? First of all, tell me what the response was and why you gave me that response.
Well, I gave that response because I told you that I wasn't an expert in social media. I don't think there's anything there's no such thing, because I think social media is too new. We're all still trying to figure it out. I did tell you I'm an expert in two things. That's mercy and grace, because nobody ever needed it more than me, and I understand that. So when you talking about social media experts, as long as you're online having fun and adding value to people's lives, I don't think there's a way to do it wrong. Now, as we talked about, Rollis, earlier, are you going to say some things that some people don't like? Absolutely. But no matter what you do, you're going to find people that don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I just consider myself somebody that goes online and I teach people how to be themselves and have fun.
Well, tell me this: since you're talking about how you want to make sure it's easy for people to do business with you, what have you done personally with your business to make it easy for people to get in touch with you? What steps have you taken?
Number one, I tell them RonaldWilshire.com. That's everything about me is there. When I stand up at a networking meeting, when I talk to people, I don't go into this long dissertation about what I do, especially if I don't know the person. What I do is, if you want to find out more about me, go to my website, RonaldWilshire.com. You'll find out about me. Now, if you like what you see, then we can start a conversation. If not, you know, maybe we'll still be friends and say hi occasionally. But it's not all about an agenda. It's all about starting a conversation, as we talked about.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things I did when I went to your page is that you've got links to all your social media. You've got your Facebook, your Twitter, your link. Everything is there. I thought that was really, really nice.
Well, it's we talked about the simple concept. Why is Google's page white? Well, because they can't afford color? No, it's very non-threatening. It's very easy to navigate. If you go to YouTube, you can look at a video called "Your Website Sucks, Here's Why," and it talks about the power of Google and the simplicity. So I suggest, if you want to make more money, have more fun, take stress out of your life, simplify everything you do down to kindergarten clear. Make it easy for me to do business with you.
That's a great point. Absolutely. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking of even your page. It's very simple when you first look at that page. Not a lot of extra information. Listen, appreciate all your input. Thank you very much. Very enlightening conversation. In fact, you know, when we come back, we'll talk with some entrepreneurs about things they've done to significantly increase their business within a fairly short period of time. Stay tuned.